Vaishnavi from CSC Department, E section, first year of BTech, second semester 2025-2026, CA1 and CA2 assignment, Srinivasa Ramanuja Institute of Technology. Today my video presentation is about bubble sort with an example. Sorting techniques. Arranging elements in some order is called as sorting. This is an operation applied to arrays or other indexable data structures. A sort procedure that places a list of items in an alphabetical or numerical sequence. There are mainly 6 methods used for sorting techniques: the list or array. They are written as below: bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort. Today I am going to discuss about bubble sort deeply. Introduction about a bubbles. Bubble sort is a simple sorting algorithm. It compares adjacent elements in a list. If the elements are in the wrong order, they are swapped. The process continues until the last is sorted. It is mainly used for learning sorting techniques. Now about bubble sort. A bubble sort compares two adjacent elements in a list of data elements and exchanges them if they are not in order. The most efficient aspect of bubble sort is that they can quit early if the elements are almost sorted. Each pair of adjacent element is compared and swapped until the smallest or largest element bubbles up to the top, thus the name bubble sort. This process repeats until all the elements are in sorted order. This technique is also known as exchange sort or adjacent sort or sinking sort. Now how bubble sort works. Starting from the first index, compare the first and the second elements. If the first element is greater than the second element, they are swapped. Now compare the second and the third elements, swap them if they are not in order. Now the example is about a bubble sort. Now the step 1. If I equals to 0, there are the numbers -2, 0, 11, -9 and the 45. We have to swap first two elements. If the first element is greater than the second element, then we have to swap. If the second element is greater than, then we have to swap to the second one. I equals to 1. If the second element is greater than the third element, then we have to swap. If I equals to 2. If the third element is greater than the fourth element, then we have to swap. Now this step. If the first element is greater than the second element, then we have to swap. I equals to 0. I equals to 1. If the second element is greater than the third element, then we have to swap. Now this step 3. I equals to 0. Now the first element is greater than the second element, then we have to swap. Now the elements are arranged in a ascending order. Bubble sort. Now the algorithm for bubble sort. Void bubble, int list, int size. Now the brace open, int I, j, temp, semicolon for I equals to 0, semicolon I greater than size -1, semicolon I plus plus, brace open for j equals to 0, semicolon j less than size -I -1, semicolon j plus plus, semicolon if list j greater than list j plus 1, then the brace open, temp equals to list j, semicolon list j equals to list j plus 1, semicolon list j plus 1 equals to temp, semicolon close brace, close brace, close brace, close brace. Now the steps for algorithm of a bubbles. Now the first one is a start from the first element. Then we have to compare the first element with the next element. Swap if the first element is greater than the second element. Move to the next pair of elements. Repeat the process until the list is sorted. Now the conclusion of a bubble sort. Bubble sort is one of the simplest and easiest sorting algorithms to understand. It works by repeatedly comparing and swapping adjacent elements until the list is sorted. After each pass, the largest element moves it to its correct position at the end of the list. The algorithm is easy to implement in programming languages like C, Python, and Java. Bubble sort is useful for educational purposes to understand the basic concept of sorting algorithms. However, it is not suitable for large data sets because it requires many comparisons and swaps. The time complexity of bubble sort is O of n square in the worst and average cases. Despite its limitations, bubble sort is helpful for beginners learning algorithms design. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.